comment is welcome, and issues will be referred to the appropriate board, committee, or administrator. Comments will be summarized in the official board minutes, which will be available by contacting the business office. To remind you, take a moment to silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. And Jane, it looks like all board members are present except for Mr. Wampler, who is excused. He is out of town this week. Okay. So if we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's lovely to have so many in attendance for a board meeting. I think almost every chair is full, so welcome. And at this time, I would like to invite the principals to introduce their new staff. If Mr. Lusk is ready, perhaps he would go first.
Still making some notes, but we'll be fine.
You know you have it saved on your phone, right?
I usually do, but I actually have a paper copy. Okay, well, we have a fairly lengthy list, which makes me happy because we are really good at hiring good folks. So we're going to start with some new social studies department members. So I'm going to ask Mr. Thomas Journey to stand up. Mr. Journey joined us midway through the year last year, and we were happy to bring him on board. So welcome, Thomas. Madison Spagnola, who's also a member of our ELA department. She's duly certified. She's teaching a combination of social studies and English courses, journalism, some other things. Madison. And we hired Jeffrey Hauser for the social studies department as well this year. Welcome, Jeffrey. And joining our science department, teaching biology, Tyler Reese, who came on board last year, but he's still kind of new. Joining our math department, not so new, joined us midway through the year last year, Ashley Norton. Welcome, Ashley. Catherine Orleski joined us this year, joining the math department. Welcome, Catherine. And Neil Groft is soon to join our math department as soon as he's released from Fairfield. So welcome, Neil. Joining our tech ed department, Casey Smith. Welcome, Casey. Joining our Adams County Tech Prep, who is teaching networking, Stephen Kosman. Welcome, Stephen. He came midway through last year as well, first full year with us. Joining our Health and PE department, Hannah Wyrick. Joining our special education department, Michelle Sokol. And also joining our special ed department, also joining us midway through the year last year, Jody Walters. And I believe lastly, our new school nurse, Karen Morris. Welcome, Karen. And I believe I got everyone. Good.
Thank you, Mr. Lusk.
I figured I'd be next. Middle school's next.
Good evening. We have a few new staff with us tonight as well. First, I'd like to introduce Daniel Rurko. He's teaching 7th and 8th grade social studies. Also, Mary Finnemeyer, who is teaching 7th and 8th grade math. We have Jennifer Bloom, who's teaching 6th grade social studies. Linnea Johnson, teaching art. And Ben Shea joined us midway through last year as our intervention specialist.
Thank you, and we have elementary new teachers also.
Good evening. James Geddes is excited to welcome Eric Boyd, our new elementary music teacher, straight from Lebanon Valley College. Is that right?
Good evening. Lincoln Elementary is proud to announce our new art teacher, Lydia Stiff. Thank you.
I'm filling in for Dr. Lappy. I'd like to introduce Cassie Cotton, Health and Phys Ed at Franklin Township. Courtney Sordak, School Nurse at Franklin Township. And Eli Brill, Grade 2.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very thrilled to introduce or reintroduce Lisa Gormley as our third instructional coach.
Thank you. I'm going to introduce some new people to Student Services this year. Our district-wide school social worker, Jennifer Weigel. And we have Shelby Grubeski, who is our psychology intern, who's working with our district for the whole year.
I believe that's all of the introductions. And Mr. Robinson is going to show us how skilled he is at arranging a group picture. So where would you like them, Andrew?
Over here by the white screen. All right, now I can't see everybody's face. Front row, front row, front row. Oh, I think I have everybody's face. It would be 3, 2, 1. Grab a couple pictures. Good. Thank you.
You all are certainly welcome to stay for the rest of the board meeting, but if you have other obligations like lesson plans or grading papers, we understand if you're going to go ahead and move in that direction. They're running. I believe we can continue on with our agenda. So next on the agenda, we have the acceptance of the minutes. Oh, there weren't any? I apologize. Thank you. And then notices and communications. Okay, moving right along then. Citizens participation. Christy Bach is here from the Battlefield, from the Gettysburg Youth Soccer Committee. Yes. Yes.
We were able to again host one more tournament this year, which was our Battlefield Blast, which happened a few weeks ago at the end of August. It was our biggest tournament to date, so we're excited that it continues to grow, and we're able to use the Gettysburg Area School District property. Without it, we wouldn't be able to continue to grow. So we'd like to give our check for $10,000 field donation back to the school district.
Wow, and that's impressive. Mr. Lush is stepping up for that. Thank you, Angie, for capturing that.
All right, you all are in it too, so smile. All right, right here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, go ahead. You can
Hold
go
on
and
here
get your
faster
check.
than me. Damn phone. Just keep smiling. Oh, God. There we go. That's a very small check
I know.
for a big amount.
Kids
Usually they
a
have
big
big
one.
checks. Yeah, I could blow it up. That would be good. I could Photoshop.
Photoshop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. That's an impressive amount, and it's a very nice partnership on both ends that we are able to share the community resources that we have with the committee. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next item is board committee reports.
Thanks, Gary. Just a couple of items related to policy. You will see tonight for tentative approval several policies focused on the administrative guidelines and board operations, from policy 001 all the way through policy 012. As you may recall, we had a subcommittee meet earlier this summer, and then we had our full committee meet here in September. And we are at the point now where we are bringing recommendations to you relative to these policies. Also, if you recall, last spring, when we brought in a consultant for a work session, she had recommended that we review these policies and date them and update them along the way. So very quickly, in a summary, there is one policy that we're going to retire that we feel is no longer relevant. There are several policies that were dated where it's simply a name change, some very simple verbiage changes, but nothing of significance that changes the meaning of the policies. There are two policies where there were some changes made. One was policy 009 related to nepotism. The committee felt that the current policy is very restrictive and did not give the administrative team here enough flexibility in looking at the future and with hiring and so on. We just felt there was a need to give our leadership team more flexibility when it came to the hiring process. So we did revise policy 009. And then also the most significant one had to do with policy 006 under meetings. So just like the meeting that we are having tonight. So if our recommendation is approved, in a month when this policy would become finalized, the meeting after that, and Jane, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that would be the first meeting in November. Does that sound correct? No, that's even better yet. So under section 5, in the items that go along with the things that need to be included with the items in an agenda, we did change the order of some items there to probably the most similar one that you may or may not be familiar with is the intermediate unit, but we are moving items that are routine approvals early in the session, early in the board meeting. The things that do need board approval, then we will come after that. And then there will be informational items. Dr. Perrin has agreed to, and we've encouraged him on items of significance, items of consequence, that if we can have those for informational items at least one meeting before we have to vote on those, so that we can engage with one another a little bit, possibly engage with the general public as well, that would be a real positive, productive thing, or a change in, compared to the way that maybe that we're doing things now. Dr. Perrin, I think you were raising your hand there, or did you want to make an additional comment?
Clarify, because I'm not sure that we're talking about the same thing. It would be on the 2nd October agenda for approval, the first agenda that would reflect the changes from the first meeting.
Sometimes I get bored with being right. Thanks for that clarification. But in general, I do want to say a big thank you to the people that met over the summer on the subcommittee, the people that are on our policy committee, and everyone that has provided input into this. I do think it's going to be a real positive step forward, that we will have a little more time to digest information before making decisions of consequence, more time to engage one another and to learn from one another, and possibly to engage our public as well. So again, a big thank you, and those are our recommendations. Anyone else on the committee want to add anything? Maybe I missed something?
I mean, that sounds pretty thorough, and when we get to them, if we have questions. If I may add, just the conversation was so rich. It was majority of the board in those discussions, pushing our own norms and beliefs to think about how we can continue to grow and be more effective and even empowered as a board. So thank you for opening those conversations and for the great conversation that went along with that. The other committee happens to be the Finance and Facilities Committee. That meeting will happen this week, September 19th at 4 p.m. And building and program information is next.
Andrew, do you want to go ahead and give your report first?
Good evening, everybody. It's nice to be able to talk to you all here and not just have to sit over there and record it, so I'm happy for this opportunity. I'm also happy for the opportunity that I received in July to be able to go to the National School Public Relations Association conference that was held in Washington, D.C. It was very convenient, and I just want to thank Jason and all of you on the board for allowing me to go there. It was a wonderful opportunity, learned lots of new stuff, and connected with a lot of new people that I'm sure will be friends for a lifetime, so that's a wonderful, wonderful thing to take away. So as a result, though, of that conference, I was able to come back and draft a comprehensive communications plan that I believe Jason had emailed to all of you on Friday, or at some point over the weekend or before that. And I just wanted to take an opportunity to just go over a little bit of that with you this evening. What I did was I broke that down into 5 goal areas. And the 5 goal areas are, the first one is refining the use of current tools like our social media, app, newsletters, etc., to ensure that they are being used to their maximum capacity. And then within each goal area, there's a set of objectives and then a set of strategies too. Our second goal area was to develop and maintain positive collaborative relationships with all stakeholders, so that's students, parents, staff, and the community, to strengthen the support for Gettysburg Area School District. And then the third goal area was to establish effective employee communication programs to improve internal communication, employee engagement, and district climate. And then the fourth goal area is to expand and promote the Gettysburg Area School District brand and build on image and reputation. And on that note, we just had our second brand ambassador meeting this past Thursday. And Carlos was able to attend for a portion of that. It's great that we have so many people involved, so we're working on enhancing our image and reputation and the district's overall brand, so that's exciting. And then the fifth and final goal area is to coordinate communication both internally and externally regarding safety issues and crisis management. So if you have any questions on any of those, I would be happy to entertain those. And I did just want to give a shout out to Dr. Perrin, Dr. Lay, and Ann Baum, and anyone else who assisted me in putting this together and read over it for me and helped me strengthen those goals, objectives, and strategies. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
So earlier this evening, we met with our new hires to go over some additional district initiatives and procedures, protocol, after we had them attend many induction sessions prior to school starting as well, and even up to this point in the school year. And anyone who's new to teaching or has to receive tenure in Pennsylvania, we have induction sessions throughout the school year as a county that they'll continue to attend. And then I had the opportunity as well to meet with mentors. Some of them were here but have left. Well, April could stand. April's a mentor for us. So with all of those new hires, we're keeping a lot of people busy, but it's such an interesting group of people with various backgrounds, and the mentors are really excited to support our new hires, because we've talked about how there is a teacher crisis of shortage across the United States and in Pennsylvania, and it's an even more important role for them to make sure that we're supporting our new hires and making sure they're taking care of themselves as well. So it was a nice opportunity to connect with them, and we look forward to supporting our new hires. Thank you.
Good evening. I just wanted to give an update on the work that the middle school did this summer with the scheduling committee. Dr. Reddick joined us, as you know, this summer in early June, and we spent 2.5 intense days with him. Our first day was the admin team with him, and we spent a lot of time looking at the philosophy behind scheduling, specifically secondary scheduling, and really explored what our priorities were, and then started to put some ideas into place. And then we met with our teacher team the second day for a full day and really fleshed out a lot of ideas, did a lot of brainstorming. We had done some pre-work before then, so we had a very good handle on what our priorities were, what we were looking to do. So we are still in progress with that. We came out with a lot of ideas, really trying to look at using our time as efficiently as possible and sticking close to what our priorities were. So at this point so far, we've already tweaked our unified arts schedule based on the discussions that we had. We've tweaked our first period flex schedule. We're doing some really neat things with interventions and time. We have warrior time built in, so we're already making some changes, but our first meeting with the teacher committee again will be in a couple weeks, and that's where we'll get to the meat of exploring the options. So we have a couple options for a master schedule, and we'll be hashing it out and deciding what we're going to do. So we'll meet as many times as we can to make a decision on that. So that's kind of where we stand with the middle school schedule.
10.1 and 10.2 on the agenda. 10.1 is what would be referred to as a routine approval if they were in place right now. They're basically BOAC.
Yes.
Yeah. All career technical centers have to have advisory committees statewide, so this checks the box, and we really appreciate our community partners that dedicate the time to work with our teachers and our kids. We want to make sure that, you know, as we can continue to work in the career technical arena, that we're producing opportunities for students that give them a good first step towards a career goal they might have in terms of the next step of their education or applied work. So 10.1 is just approval of the advisory committees. 10.2 is an informational item. I'm just sharing this as Sean is out of town this week. 10.2 would be the new agreement that the 5 county schools that would be participating in the Adams Technical Institute, or whatever the name ends up being for that process. All the boards will be looking to approve that in October. So we put it on as information. It would be on October, I believe it's the 7th, for approval. Between now and then, in reading through it, if you have any questions, just email me and copy the board, and I'll get responses from Sean back to everybody, or bring them to the next meeting for approval as well. So, and pretty much a lot of the things will happen as they're currently happening. It'll really be a satellite program. The things that are currently happening in our buildings will continue to happen in our buildings. Conewago Valley will be opening up a welding program, and then as districts open up programs on their sites, they would become part of that consortium. I know Fairfield does EMT as well. So we're looking forward to kind of expanding opportunities for students countywide, and there are 5 districts that would be taking part, just as there are now. The one county district that doesn't is Upper Adams, because they currently belong to Cumberland Ferry Technical. Though we will offer them slots and programs that they need at a per pupil cost if there are seats available after our students have been served. Look at right of first refusal as a neighbor of ours. So we'll work to keep them involved through the process. So it's taken a significant amount of time to get to this point. We're pretty excited that we're almost there in October. And this year then, we're shortly after all 5 boards approve that document, then we would be able to get what's referred to as an AUN number, and that would make the technical program its own single entity. It would no longer be owned by the school district. So any questions from that document, feel free to email them to me at your leisure, and we'll get you a response. Thank you.
Thank you for those updates. We're going to move on to the personnel section. We have some new hires, resignations, retirements, as well as supplemental positions. So we entertain a motion for items 9.1 through 9.8.
So moved.
Second. So we will vote then. So Sylvan?
Yes.
And Kathleen? Yes. Ken?
Yes.
Alice? Yes. Al?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
I wanted to point out that Brad's retirement letter was in that stack. So I appreciate, not just the work that we have done over the past 2 years together and continue to do this year, but the fact that he was willing to communicate that early and allow us some time to work towards finding his successor. I don't try to use the word replacement with people, because you never replace the people. You succeed them, but you never replace them. So, so congratulations 6 months earlier, however many months early. I'm sure you know how many days it is. That's right. Thanks.
Good. Thank you for sticking through the intense part of the budget season also in that, so thank you for your service to the district in advance. Okay, curriculum and programs, looking for approval of the local advisory committee and occupational advisory committee list. So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I just want to say, kind of piggybacking off of what Jason already mentioned, it's pretty phenomenal, the list of partners and community partners that we work with and that are willing to work with our students. And I just want to compliment Sean and everyone else involved in that process for maintaining those relationships. It's great.
All right, so we can move to vote. Kathleen, would you start, please?
Yes.
And Ken?
Yes.
Alice? Yes. Al?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Sylvan?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Under policy, we have, as Al mentioned, several board policies related to the structure and roles of the board of directors. So entertaining a motion for tentative approval of the policies under 12.1 all the way through 12.9.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question. Al, as the chair of this committee, are you asking for people to give you input at this time?
Actually, I think we've had a pretty high degree of input. This is the first that it's really come to the full board, so I would say between now and the next time that we meet, we appreciate any feedback that anybody else on the full board may have. So I think that's the whole intent behind a tentative approval, is that we still have time to make adjustments if necessary.
And one of the other things that we do is during that 30-day period is we run those by Mr. McQuaid, and if there are law or those kind of things, we include those edits in the second reading as well.
Any other discussion?
No, I'm kind of curious about something. I really like the policy 008, Code of Ethics for School Board Members. Does your committee feel like there may be value in having school board members sign such a code of ethics?
That was discussed somewhat, and also it was discussed, and actually, Kathleen, you, Carlos, and I attended a session up at PSBA where there is the whole PSBA's recommendations for code of conduct for school boards and so on. That may be something we may want to take a look at. I do know that some districts actually even post it, on the walls and so on in the boardroom and whatnot. But help me, Kathleen, what was your specific question on that one?
Well, if your committee discussed if there'd be value in board members actually signing this code of ethics.
I don't think we specifically spoke about signing it, but certainly it's something we could consider.
I do remember discussing that idea, and I know that we had brought that to tie in with what might be for onboarding new school board members, some form of induction process, and that being a part of that. I don't know that came to our committee meeting, post-subcommittee meeting. So that could be, I would be interested in further looking at that as well.
Any further discussion? Then we can move to a vote, and we start with Ken.
Yes.
And Alice? Yes. Al?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Sylvan?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
And I vote yes. In section 14, we have a supplemental position that needs action. So moved.
Second.
discussion on that position? Okay, if we could vote on that, please, starting with Alice? Yes. And Al?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Sylvan?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
And Ken?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We are to section 15 with transportation. There are items such as bus and van contractors, transportation routes, and bus stops that need approval.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Okay, so if we could vote on those, starting with Al
Yes.
and Mike,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Sylvan,
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Alice, yes, and I vote yes. Okay. Under business and finance, section 17, there is a PSBA ballot question where the board is asked to vote on the PSBA officers.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? If we could go ahead then and vote on that one, and then we will, I apologize, we'll have to also vote on 17.2. I didn't have the two together. So Mike
Yes.
and Jim,
Yes.
Sylvan,
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Alice, yes, Al,
Yes.
and I vote yes. And then on 17.2, the PSBA ballot for insurance trust trustees. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. And then with voting, we would start with Jim
Yes.
and Sylvan,
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Alice, yes, Al,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay. And item 18, we moved on to the financials. So at 18.1, needs action to pay the bills.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Okay. So Sylvan
Yes.
and Kathleen,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Alice, yes, Al,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay. Information items are what follow. Is there anything else for the good of the order?
We were somewhat quietly receiving a lot of information and updates early on, and I just want to thank you all for those updates and especially point out that Andrew's comprehensive plan for communications is phenomenal. And it was really interesting to read, so I look forward to seeing the sections as we continue to develop it. Nice work.
I want to take this time to thank Al and the committee and board for the time that was invested in working on the areas that needed updated, wording changed and so forth, because I've been involved in that before and it's never as easy as it seems. So my time for the last 6 months hasn't necessarily been my time because of family situations and so forth. So I apologize, but I remember Al, and I don't remember who was standing outside in the cold talking about some ideas, and those ideas have pretty much been put into fruition. So I thank all of you for that.
If I could just also point out all the work that was done with transportation to have a smooth start to the school year. There's quite a bit that's involved in the routes and the bus stops, and making sure that there are bus drivers and van drivers. So thank you to the transportation department. If there's nothing else then, the next meeting will be on Monday, October 7th at 7 p.m. In the boardroom. And there's a brief executive session following this to discuss personnel. And this meeting is adjourned.
Good to see you again. Okay. That sounds okay.